Alrighty. Um, Today is November the 9th, Sunday. It's the Sunday trading review again. Now this week, there's only two trades ever made. I'll get into it when I go through this, but I start off at the top. Out of 5 trading days, how many mornings were spent on full pre-market prep, scanning game plan levels and news flow? I would say, honestly, one, maybe two, and that was due to the market just kind of being weak. So it was just kind of like, well, there's no setups, there's nothing to really trade, so why am I gonna even wake up? Um, Now it might be a bad habit, but not waking up when the market's not in favor of my setups because maybe there is a few that I don't see. But I would say one day, and that was Monday, and then Tuesday not so much. Um, I did wake up and did game plan and all that stuff, but it wasn't like a full prep. I was kind of just looking at what's holding up the best, what's uh, collapsing the most, things like that. So this week it wasn't really a big week for trading for me, other than Monday with some opportunities that were there, but eventually didn't work out. All right, on days prep was skipped or rushed. What was the reason? There was just nothing really set up for me in my setup, and I wasn't gonna force trades. I think I'm in a pretty bad losing streak right now. Um, so yeah, I don't want to keep losing and keep draining my account. But it's not fun. I've been there before. I'm doing it again, and it's not even worth it to do all this work. Well, it's not even worth it just to risk anything at this point when there's nothing there. In my opinion, things were pretty extended these past week, even 2 weeks. I was very hesitant to even buy stuff, to even buy any stocks, and I guess my gut, my instinct for just from studying, kind of was right, but I didn't obviously make any money off of it, so it doesn't matter. How did lack of prep impact results for the days? They didn't impact it at all. Maybe other than Friday, because Friday the market kind of bounced a little bit here. You can see it was really weak midday, and then just bounced all the way back. So biggest name that day was EOSE. This one was on the watch list. I have alerts of it. You can see here. Um, but once again, it was also later in the day. So the battery names are doing pretty well. Let's see here. FLNC as well. CSIQ. I guess they just went from solar to batteries. So or they do both still. I don't really know. But SNDK, just these are all. Wait, these are all still kicking. STX, um, WDC. Sorry. Yeah, these memory names are just going straight up. It's kind of nuts. So yeah, there wasn't really anything other than like Friday, but even that is kind of like a late day, pretty late in the day. It was at not till 1 o'clock. So I mean, you look in the morning, you look at the first 4 hours, you're like, yeah, this market is just selling off completely. So yeah, I mean, there wasn't really um, an impact results at all, I believe. What one improvement will ensure consistent pre-market prep next week? Now this is a case. I guess this doesn't really involve my trading as much, but I don't really have to be trading every day. Um, but I guess one improvement that will ensure consistent pre-market prep is if there's setups, if there's opportunities. That's the only thing that's probably gonna, and that's something I can't control, obviously. But it would be the day before, the night before, looking for things that are setting up or possible setting up in a week or two, and what's moving, what's not moving, where's the money flowing. That's pretty much it, I think. Nothing really, really I can do about that. I think. Execution versus opportunity set. The trades align with setup scan that were truly in play. Yes, I believe. On Monday, going back to what I said earlier in the video, I was trading. I traded Iron and Cipher. Um, because they had some good news right here. 15-year lease agreement with Amazon Web Services, and it gapped up above its previous high. I thought it was great. It's coming out of a base, a slight base, but I mean it's still coming out of one. It was about 16 days, so 12 bars, around 2 to 3 weeks of a base here. Same with the iron, it kind of had a similar setup, almost the exact same setup. And they also had some good news. 13 days, 17 days, same thing. Um, Now this one here, I specifically waited for this one to get over its previous highs. On both of them, Cipher was already above its highs, its all-time highs. And I mean this is, in my opinion, this was some good news. They also had some earnings that day as well for Cipher, but I think the news, um, this news here, I guess what's the word I'm looking for, it was more dominant than this news, than the earnings. As you can see by the price action of it gapping up, although they missed on earnings and the revenue was up though. Well, they technically missed on both. They expected it was 11 cents, it was 10 cents, and then revenue was expected to be 77 and it was 71. So they missed on both, but better than the year before, but they still missed. So yeah, so my plan was to trade these things, specifically for iron, was to trade it once it got above this green line here. Yeah, once that was, I was like, okay, it's going, and then it just got stuffed. But Cipher was already above it, so I took that one. I thought these were pretty good setups. I mean, I think they work in a different market environment. It's kind of similar to this here, although not as big, but kind of get the idea. Range here, break out on some news. Yeah, I mean, I thought this was gonna work. It's in the right sector. It's the right news. I mean, I guess it's the market environment we're in. It just didn't work. Oh well. So what? But I took those two trades. I thought they were pretty good trades. I honestly thought they were A+ trades. Um, Now, because it gapped up. See, it gapped up like 22%. So I was like, yeah, this is great news. This can continue higher. um, so I only took those two trades, and I truly thought those were A+ setups. Now, is there something that I'm missing? Maybe the consolidation wasn't long enough, but it looks pretty nice to me. Maybe a couple of days would have been nice, but that's being like picky. I mean, if the opportunity is gonna gap up, and it's gonna gap up without me in it, I mean, I gotta get in. It gap up and like just continue to go. Yeah, I really thought these were pretty good setups, especially with the gap. That's one of my favorite things. So yeah. So I think I took all the quality setups. I think in terms of breakouts and ranges and bases. Now on the short side, I haven't looked on the short side on what I should have been shorting, but I think a lot of the names were down before the market was coming down. Like if you look at these, what names are they? Metals and materials. These were just collapsing. Oh, sorry. Now they had a big bounce on these days here, but these were, I mean, it's kind of a no man's land. Like this is no, like I don't. What am I risking off of? The 100, the moving average. I guess there's like some support here lines up with it, you know. But I think this is personally in no man's land. It's in between the moving averages. I mean, I could risk the previous day's lows or previous day's open, but and I'm not looking at this thing and seeing like, okay, yeah, this is definitely gonna bounce tomorrow. I personally didn't see anything on these names. I just didn't see anything, and this would have been more of a day trade type of style. I mean, this one was pretty nice here. You know, just surfing this 50-day, but most of the names were kind of nowhere. They weren't really attractive looking. Like I just to me, I didn't really like these names. They've already been, you know, A bounce play here is a good idea, but I want a big bounce, not a couple percent here and there. Personally, um, what else? These names are pretty good. Uh, these names are doing well. Optics. These weed names they've been doing whack. Uh, let's look at the chart. Okay, so the solar names were quite bad. I think they had a pretty good day. CSIQ. So I think this is the one that changed to. Well, or they're moving into batteries. Yeah, I mean these are all kind of everywhere. Flush. I mean this one's a pretty good one. Dead earnings. But yeah, Solar's not doing good. Um, NUAI, this hype name here, kind of breaking under the 10. I mean, this is respecting the 10 for a long time. And this day here kind of trapped a lot of people. I'm assuming if you're, excuse me, assuming if you're like a kind of similar setup to the Monday trade that I took with Iron and Cypher, or the gap up, push up higher, but just get stuffed. These quantum names are bouncing now technically, but they were down pretty bad as well. Also in no man's land. I guess if you're watching it this day of, you could be potentially buying it off this 100-day moving average, but not really set up for me. These names after it got stuffed this day, I was like, okay, these need some more time. So this might create a big base for a couple more weeks, hopefully. I mean, CLS is gapping and selling off. I don't really like this type of price action where it gaps and sells off. Gap, red candle, gap, red candle. Kind of sucks. These some of these cloud names are still doing well. SEI, just this one's on watch as well. Tesla kind of got weak, back down to the 50. So Cypher, Wolf, kind of get into the 10 and 20, kind of weak. I gotta take these off. BLDP kind of still intact, but it doesn't really look. I mean, it looks like it's setting up, but I don't know. Doesn't seem. It's not clean enough yet. It needs a couple more days. Tightness. Pump. Just watching this one. Just paying attention. Just on the watch. These are actually all the names that I kept. I had so much more names in here. So many more names in here. So like something like this under the 10 and 20. I'll give a couple more days, but if it stays under there, I'll just delete it. And if it's ready to perk back up, or if it's ready to break out, it'd pop up in this here. So I'm willing to just remove this one. The ICR, this one's just waiting on this one. BE, also same thing, waiting for this one to set up as well. But I don't really like this price action anymore. It's super choppy. It's kind of gross. I mean, it was super clean down here, and then it just kind of changed right around here. Actually, I would say it changed this day, in my opinion. It gaps down, reclaims, goes sideways, breaks out. It like creates a high, comes back down to the 20, gaps up out of this range. Now it's building a sideways range. It's not really super clean anymore. It was previously, but not that much anymore. But okay, I gotta go back. Sorry. I just went off a tangent. For each missed setup, why didn't you execute? I guess I missed one setup, which is EOSE. But that was like, I guess I can say I was distracted, but I wasn't even on my computer. I did get the alert on my phone. I just was like, I mean, the market is down quite a bit, so I was like, I'm not gonna touch this thing. It could be one of those fake breakouts, and then Monday comes around and it just gaps down. I don't know. What concrete adjustment will prevent similar setups? What concrete adjustment will prevent missing similar setups? This is one of those things where breakouts midday are kind of tough for me. I've never really traded breakouts midday. Usually they're in the morning. Typically they're in the morning from the studies that I've done. So it's just like something that wasn't really a part of the setup that I've been studying most of the time. Most of the time they're first thing in the morning. They boom, it's straight out of the range. This one with the market gapping down and being super weak. Did it gap down? I think it did. No, it didn't. Yes, it did. Gap down, and was just super weak under the 50 day. And same thing with this. It just kind of sold off in the morning, and then it bounces. It bounced like 27%. It just so that's for me. It's hard for me to buy something like that. Although the market was bouncing as well, so I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't really my type of style. Weekly goal progress. What was your key improvement goal last week? It's always going to be trading the best setups. Was progress measurable? Yeah, because I think I traded two very good setups. At the time, they just failed. You know, it is what it is. Nothing blocked me here. What measurable goals set for the upcoming week? This is going to be the same. Trading the best setups. That's pretty much it. I guess you can say I went 2 for 3 in the week with missing EOSE. I did trade Iron and Cypher, which I believe were good setups. Now EOSE, like I said before, it broke out like midday, like at 1 o'clock, 3 hours before the market closes. That's something I'm not really used to buying. Midday breakouts, they usually really don't happen often as well. So yeah. Was there a clear process objective to start the week? It's the same thing as always. Trading A plus setups. How did pursuit of the objective look each day? A couple of days I took off, so I guess Sunday night last week and Monday morning were the days I really, I guess, was after this objective. There was just setups there, so I took them. Um, yeah, I was just studying and looking at setups, see what's moving, what's not, what's gonna help me with this objective. So the pursuit was scanning the night before, waking up in the morning and looking at what these stocks have done, reading the news, what's the news, not just okay, there's news, but like reading into the news, what's the news? Okay, they got a deal with Amazon, great, or they had the deal with blah blah blah, and it's gonna be this and that. So looking more into depth, more depth into the details of the deals. Where did focus drift and why? I wouldn't say focus really drifted. Actually, I would say that the fact that the market was getting weak, selling off, and didn't provide any setups, I think was what focused my drift, or why my focus drifted. Because I wasn't really like, okay, there's no opportunities anymore, so I'm just gonna look away and not pay attention to the market and relax and sleep in for a little bit. So that's probably the only reason why my focus drifted. How will alignment with objectives be maintained despite emotions or distractions? You just gotta do it. I think dedicating a couple hours a day to scanning and studying, adding more setups into the database, and studying stocks or moves, in depth. I think is what's gonna help with the objectives. How early were entries relative to the sweet spot of moves? Let's look. Let's look at this iron. So iron, what day did I buy? I bought it Monday. I guess no. To be fair, they were like super early. They were, I would say, pretty early. They were like really really early in the morning. But like I said, this is it opened up here, at like 73, and it just like pretty much skipped past. Let's look at this on the 2-minute chart, so you can see. All right, you can see here, like in the first 2 minutes, like this thing took off. Look how much volume came through here. Look at this. It was 16.8 million. 16.8 million shares were traded in that first 2 minutes. Now looking back on this is like clearly somebody just. It looks like somebody was just dumping all their shares. 16.8 is massive. The whole day traded 80, and 16.2 was in the first 2 minutes. Like I've seen that volume, I'm like, okay, this is going. Like this is going. A couple million shares traded in the first First 2 minutes of the day, like this candle doesn't compare to anything else. Look at the volume on this day, and I would say nearly a fourth of that was in the first 2 minutes. So the volume was there, the signs were there. It just went straight through the 74, which is the previous high. I was like, okay, this is good, this is great, and it took off. And then I got stopped out within the same next minute. But so sweet spot for this trade, wouldn't say there is any. I think I got the sweet spot. It would have been great. I got in super early, and it just failed. So there's no sweet spot on this one. Same thing with Cypher here. Cypher, same thing. It was gapping up. Look at this too. Look at this. Look at the volume here. 20.9 million shares, and that day it traded 135 million. So almost a fifth of the shares traded of the day were in the first 2 minutes. Like, that's ridiculous. That's kind of ridiculous. How much volume was in there? So as you can see, it opened up and it just started taking off. So once I saw Iron do that, I was like, okay, Cypher's gonna do the same thing. So I bought them both at the same time. Especially when Iron shot through its previous high or its all-time high, and then Cypher was already above it. I was like, okay, we're good. Yeah, buy it. So I mean, now is there a sweet spot for this? No, because you would have got stopped out later. I mean, you could have said, okay, maybe wait for the first 5 minutes, and then you wait for the first 5 minute candle. Let's look at this. Ready? 5 minute candle. Okay, you wait for the first 5 minute candle, and then you buy it, breaking out. You're buying it up here at 23.45, and then excuse me, and then you're looking good. You're up like 6-7%. It's at $25 now, and then it just collapses on you. It just closes weak. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say there was a sweet spot for this move. They just didn't work. There was no delay, so I was in quite early. Actually, I was in within the first. Actually, I think it was within the first minute. At least within the first minute, because it was quick, it was fast, and then you can see all the volume that came through. Insane. What step will help speed up recognition? I think I recognized it pretty quickly. Obviously, it was super quick. They just failed. Oh well, but I think I recognized it very, very quickly, and because those were the only two I was paying attention to, so I recognized them pretty quickly, and they were great. If they would have worked, they would have been better, but they didn't. But still, I think it's a great setup. Were bar replays of the best trades done? No, don't have access to that. Did replay A+ setups for pattern recognition? I guess now, looking at it now, but I mean, it just didn't work, so I can't really, A+ setups, yeah, but it didn't work. So what am I gonna look at this setup for pattern recognition for? I recognized it. I saw them breaking out. I saw the volume come in. Oh well, whatever. How will time be scheduled for at least 2 replay sessions on the personal playbook setups? I'll just look at. I just add to my playbooks and my database and on setups that did work. That's pretty much it. Like QuantumScape, I took a picture of this here. Like. Perfect setup, but it didn't work. And so that kind of tells you what type of market we're in. A lot of things are selling off, or the breakouts aren't working and the gaps aren't working. So yeah, pretty simple. Do not trade these. Wait till they start working. Excuse me. Where max daily stop, size rules, and risk plan followed on every trade. I think I slightly oversized on Iron. I think like by the time I got in, like the math kind of like got confused. Not confused. It kind of like slippage and stuff like that because there was so much volume. Not that I'm trading a giant account, but I think that since it was so fast, at the time I got in, I was like a couple, like either 25, 50 cents higher, but it happens. Oh well. But it was all the rules were followed. Yes, I did not oversize or do anything. I did say, although I just did say I oversized an Iron, but that was the fact because I was in like slightly late because of slippage. But it is what it is. If rules were broken, no. Did oversized trades help or hurt? Didn't take any, so they helped because I didn't lose as much money. Well, I guess not oversizing. Not oversizing helped. Yeah, there we go. What adjustment will secure consistency next week? Consistency is not a problem for me in terms of risk, so that's fine for me. I think that just the lack of setups is what's gonna hurt consistency. If there's no setups, there's no point in trading. So that's the only thing that's gonna secure consistency. The sizing and stops and risk, that's fine. That's easy. That's no problem. Emotional and mental game check and elite add-on. Sorry, I just read that all out. What emotions came up most frequently? Um, I would say a slight bit of fear. A slight bit of fear that the markets were going down. It's because I have other accounts that I'm trading with as well, and they were getting hammered. So it was a little bit of fear. But in terms of my trading, no, there was no really emotions this week. It was a little bit of anger after the setup didn't work, because I was like, "Are you kidding?" The one time I really pay attention to stocks or setup and the news and everything, and I buy it, and I feel good, and then boom, I just get stopped out and I just lose. Because I feel like I've been missing so much, which I have been. And the one time I like trade a A+ setup, in my opinion, it fails. But oh well. Did emotions impact execution or decisions? No, I don't think so. Not at all. How was regulation handled in real time? Breathing, stepping away, journaling, walking, or walk. There wasn't really any emotions or anything that could hinder my trading or mess up my mental game. This was I didn't really have to step away in terms of getting away from the computer or being too stressed out. There wasn't really any of that this week, so I think it was a pretty good week overall. What will be done differently next week to maintain peak state? Just showing up and doing the work. I think that's it. That's pretty simple. Performance metrics and edge development. What were win-loss ratio, average gain? I don't do that for the week. What percentage of setups were playbook versus impulse trades? They were both playbook. Were new notes or refinements added to the playbook from trades? Yes, I added. What did I add? No, I didn't. Was it Lumen? I think I added this setup to the playbook. I mean, this is a perfect setup. I added WDC. I think this setup, this one here. Day broke out there. Was it this one? No, there was another memory stock. That's STX. Which one is it? Let me check my Evernote database. There we go. Here. I think it was SNDK. Sorry. Yeah, it was this setup here and then this setup here. This one's the better one though. This is the the real setup. Look at it here, zoomed in. It's like a super high tide flag. A little wide, but still within. It was still below its ADR. If you look on the left over here, right there below ATR, which is ATR 14, I added these two ADR measurements. So the one where it's like parentheses H minus L. That one is the daily range of that candle. So on this day here, it moved like 7.48%. Oops. And then the one below it was the ADR at the time. So if you look at the top right on this right here, it says ADR ADR 9.78. That is excuse me. I can delete. Oops. What the? Sorry. This is the current ADR of the stock. STX. Was I on STX? No. What the hell was I on? SNDK. Sorry. So for this candle here, you can see if you look at the numbers here today. So look at the H minus L, that one here. That's 16.32. So basically, the from low to high or whatever the math is, it moved 16.32%, and then the ADR that day was 9.85. You can see that ADR has gone up to 9.78 because of this daily candle, and you can see the effect of it. So this was something I was looking at. I don't know if sorry. In the last video, I was trying to figure out what the ADR for that day was, and then what the average range of that day. So I wanted to do the study where if I look at setups like Lumen, for example, this day here, the daily range on this stock was 6.04, or the range on that stock that day was 6.04. But the ADR that day was the ADR was 6.14 for the previous 30 days, or I think it's 20 days. Sorry, and then the next day it breaks out. So I was trying to see if I can if there's like a ratio or like a number where it's primed to be breaking out. So like for this one here, the number I've seen is kind of like 60% of its ADR on the current candle is in the next day is not a high probability of it breaking out, but it'll break out. So what I'm trying to say is for this day here specifically, the day before this breakout here, as you can see, the range for that day was 5.7, but the ADR was 11.18. It's gone down to 10.97, but still, you can see it's almost like it's slightly over half. I've noticed that it's slightly over half the numbers, so I would say 60%. Let's look at other previous breakouts. So these ones are kind of tough. Especially NBIS is kind of whack. But Hood, for example, let's see here. So for this, let's go to this breakout here. Now this one was different. See, now this one was 6.1, the range of that day, and then it broke on the next day. But you can't really consider that a breakout. Honestly, you can't. It's still moving, to be fair. I don't know. This doesn't really have any breakouts, just other than this one down here. Like this one here, like yeah. Okay, so for this one now, maybe I'm cherry picking because it broke out the next day, but I'm looking at the day before the breakouts, and this one was 4.38, the daily range for this candle, but the ADR at the time was 7.61. So this is more of like a 75%, something like that, of its ADR at the time. This is just all continuation. I'm looking for breakouts, but none of these are really breakouts. I guess EOSC. Let's see this one. So this one's kind of tough. Now this one, honestly, like, I don't think this is really a setup in terms of the tightness. That's just my opinion, but it did break out. So for example, let's look at this one down here. This is where it broke out. The ADR was kind of the same on this one, just slightly higher. So my thesis is not looking too well, but we'll see if there is a correlation with this. I mean, this one here, same thing. The 4%, 4.89. I guess if it's if it's below the current ADR, I gives it a higher chance of it breaking out. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I got to do the study on that, but this one here, 7.48, ADR was 8.27. CSIQ, ADR was 8.3. The percentage of the day was 5.34. So it's slightly less. Let's see, Credo. I think this one had some okay breakouts. Kind of. Not really. APLD. I guess we can go with this one here. 6.43, 8.02. Sim. This is a pretty good one. In terms of like a nice looking breakout here. There's one here. 4.43, 5.44. I guess we want to consider this one. 3.53, 5.83, and then this one here was, this was 5.32, 8.75. So I'm sure there's more. Let's see this one. No, just slightly below. And then this one here, 4.7, 6.8. I guess you consider this one another breakout. 4.86, 7.71. Now I got to see if also if it's a lower daily range compared to if it's ADR, does it cause or is it correlated to a bigger breakout and a cleaner breakout? I don't know. I'd have to do a study on that. So that one probably will take a long time. But yeah, I added that. I just implemented that to see how it's doing, how it's gonna be. I can hide these now, or yeah, I can hide these right here. They don't need to be seen that much. As long as they're on the chart, I can see them here, which is probably better, anyways. Anyways, going back to what the hell I was talking about. Just yapping again. All right, what was I? What new notes or refinements added to the playbooks and trades? So, right. Um, Which setups showed the highest edge and how will execution or sizing improve? This week, I think it was kind of like being short these high beta names, I guess, but they kind of bounced. So I don't think there was a really a chart theme or a setup this week, honestly, other than maybe buying under the 50-day or bounce off the 50-day. I don't really know what it was. These quantum names are pretty horrible, so I didn't really see a theme, in my opinion. This one bounced off the 50. Yeah, I didn't really see any. I guess shorting, but I guess yeah, I don't know, shorting, I guess, but even that was like, that was pretty like, yeah. I didn't really see a theme or edge this week. In my opinion, I didn't see much. So next, what's the number one priority for improvement next week? Just staying on top of things, seeing what's moving, what's not, and yeah, just keep scanning, keep looking at stocks, keep studying. I think that's. But I guess so. The number one priority for improvement next week would be studying. Just keep studying, going back, looking at what the stocks have broken out in the past, what stocks haven't, things like that, and like sectors and charts, stuff like that, whatever. Uh, Actually, studying breakouts, and if I'm not studying breakouts, then studying parabolic shorts, and if I'm not studying parabolic shorts, then studying the EPs. So studying the setups that I trade is what's going to be my number one priority for improvement next week, and that's going to help, I guess, in the long term of identifying stocks or setups. What daily process change is committed to for making that improvement real? Just scanning and adding to the database and playbook every day, if I can, hours a day. Will this review make you proud or embarrassed? It always is gonna make me proud. I'll never be embarrassed of one of these, other than maybe like making a bad trade like that. But in terms of looking at my improvement and documenting it and being truthful with myself, I'll never be embarrassed, even if people see this. I don't care. That's what it's for. So I can watch back on it, and in case, not in case, but when I make it one day, uh, and I'm a big time trader, people know who I am. I don't really want people to know who I am, but that they can see, like, okay, everybody does really start somewhere, and then this is the truth. This is the struggles that even this type of trader went through, and this is how it is. This is the truth of what it's like. So, yeah. Summary letter to my future me. All right, I would say to just keep going at it. Just keep studying, keep paying attention, keep documenting, keep adding to the database. Just keep going. It's only been a year and 3 months of full-time trading, so being up only I guess 30 something percent. It's not bad, but it's kind of horrible. It's pretty bad for what's the opportunities that have been out there. So I suggest studying. Just keep studying, dude. Um, that's the only work that's really needed. Your sizing is fine. Risk is fine. Um, process I think is fine. I think in the future we'll probably have to wake up earlier. But that's if you want to trade like pre-market and stuff like that. Getting in early, it's not my type of style. So, um, I guess understanding. Oh, okay. This is for recapping the week. Yeah. Sorry. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep going. Um, this week I think was fine. You traded two great setups. At this time, I believe. At this current moment, I believe they're great setups. Now, if I in the future, if I look back and be like, "You idiot, you ain't trading good setups," then fine. But in my eyes, right now, from what I see on these setups, I think they were great setups. They were A plus setups. I agree. They're A plus setups. Um, there's nothing you can do about that. It's the way the market is. It's not the right environment to trade these. So either size down or just not trade at all. Um, yeah, and then just focus on once again, just focus on the best setups. Because if you focus on the best setups, you have a higher chance of making money and succeeding and being free, having true freedom. So I think that's it. I don't really see. I don't know if anything I can come up with anything else. So I think that's it. A lot quicker one today. Wasn't much to do in the week and talk about, and I don't want to keep blabbering on for just to blabber for the sake of blabbering on. So I think I'm gonna cut it here. Yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.